To have is aggrieved members of PDP who are aggrieved and trying to, hear their views. They can discuss as elders and settle these differences. We don't know what is called new PDP. All we know is one PDP led by the Babangatuku faction.
It does appear that some party loyalists believe that the PDP's crisis is merely a minor distraction and not enough to threaten the party's national influence.
What you're seeing now is the result of might. PDP is so large, and that largeness was not caused by a fluke. Everybody in the east, in the southwest, in the southeast agreed to come together to form the party. Not one person owns the party as another party. That's why the PDP as a party is scaring other parties.
The time we are leading our communication in Osun State, we told everybody we are really support the leadership of the Babangatuku and the President Ebele, Jonathan, and the Sambo. Anytime, any day. Our election coming in 2014. I want to tell you, by the grace of God, we win in Osun State.
There are some who believe that the dissenting voices in the PDP stand no chance unless they toe the path of reconciliation.
There was a Greek philosopher, Heraclitus, who said that society must be in permanent state of conflict. That we have conflict within the PDP now. Does not mean that everything must come to an end. No, we are very strong, we are very cohesive. And let me say this, I'm praying for reconciliation. I'm praying for those who say they have formed the new PDP or old PDP or Senate PDP to come back. But one thing that they should know is that they must not stand easy on the face. It has never been recorded in the history of Nigeria that a rebellion against an existing party has succeeded. No, it failed in 53 with Professor Yoita. It failed in 58, Mbadiwe and Okola Balogun. It failed in 62 with Papa S.L. Akitola. It failed even with Rimi, Barabe Musa, Goni, and all of them. And so it cannot succeed.
Here at the grassroots, the impact of the PDP's national crisis may not be too evident, but that may be because breaking ranks where the party is not in power may prove too costly. Charles Aruka, reporting for Channels Television News.
Well, we take a break now. When we return, it will be more politics as political parties in Nasarawa State prepare for local government elections.
Yes, indeed. And we also look at calls for a sovereign national conference.
Please join us again.
Every day as they happen, opinions arise.
I lost money in Africa. Sanusi said he couldn't care about the shareholder.
For and against, they have to be heard.
The government of this dispensation has made a very strong commitment. Yet, bombs keeps going on every day.
People are dying, and we are talking grammar.
Unfeatured.
You are the worst advertisement of the product you are trying to pick.
Uninhibited.
People are contravening and contradicting traffic rules.
And issues are laid bare.
This is what is called in psychology narcissism. Is worse than megalomania.
And the weight decided by you. Face Off, Wednesdays 8 to 9 p.m. only on Channels Television.
Welcome back. All our top stories and other programs can be found on our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb.
And to get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on an iPad, iPhone, or BlackBerry. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android and Nokia 920 devices from their respective stores. Now, the political parties in Nasarawa State are bracing up for the forthcoming local government elections. The State Independent Electoral Commission has set December the 14th for the poll. Chairman of the state electoral body, Abdullahi Modibo, told journalists that the commission is set to conduct the elections after an out-of-court settlement was reached with the ousted elected council officials.
Former elected council officials at a meeting to negotiate an out-of-court settlement with the state government after a protracted legal tussle over their removal from office after spending only 2 years of their 3 years tenure. Following the resolution of the situation, The State Electoral Commission is set to conduct elections into the 13 local government areas in the state.
We unfolded our timetable for elections, which is going to terminate in December 14 with the election proper. As you are aware, in Nasarawa State, for over 5 years now, there wasn't election in the state. It's because of the litigation. The state government and the NASEC were charged to court for tenure allegation of the previous chairman under the former regime of Aliyu Akwe-Idoma. We are grateful to God that the Supreme Court has now given us the go-ahead to conduct elections. And it is because of this the state governor decided to prepare for the elections after our submission to him. As given us the go-ahead to conduct elections to various local councils in the state.
As for the political parties, several negotiations are ongoing to take a decision on how their candidates will emerge. However, some of them have their reservations.
So the PDP ordinarily is prepared for any kind of election at all, if given a good, conducive atmosphere for that. It's also because of the ongoing wranglings and crises that have been developed in Nasarawa State in recent times.
I think very soon, on the 7th October to 5th October to 7th November, there's a primaries election. So by then, we already tell them, so any person that is not ready or is not capable to be a councillor or chairman, please and please, you have to step down.
The election will afford the political parties in the state an opportunity to state their determination to claim the Nasarawa State Government House in the 2015 governorship election.
Now, to be or not to be, that's a question on the lips of many calling for the convocation of a sovereign national conference. In our next report, our correspondent Linda Akiwe examines the argument on both sides and the need to foster national unity.
A conference of Nigeria's ethnic nationalities called to foster frank and open discussions of the national question can certainly find accommodation in the extant provisions of the 1999 Constitution, which guarantee freedom of expression and of association.
Senate President David Mark bringing the issue of a national conference to the front burner of national discourse. His remarks came as a surprise to many Nigerians, as the National Assembly has always insisted that there is no place for a sovereign national conference in the Constitution. Senator Mark, however, rejected the idea of a conference with sovereign powers. Agitations for a sovereign national conference are not new. Right from the days of military administrations, pressure groups and civil society organizations have always called for a sovereign national conference. They believe that a sovereign national conference would confront the perceived structural distortions which have bred discontentment and agitations in some parts of the country. The return of constitutional rule in 1999 did not reduce the intensity of the demands for sovereign national conference.
The resurgence of the call for a sovereign national conference is a failure, is an admittance of failure of civil rule to address issues that a lot of people thought that would be addressed.
Some lawmakers have welcomed the convening of a national conference.
The national conference has envisaged, I believe, by the Senate President is a starting point, to ensure that we sit on a round table and all shades of ideas, are put together and Nigerians will be able to stand as one and at the same time chart a new course for ourselves to live.
Elder statesman Chief Ogwe says the conference, though welcome, should not be limited to looking at issues of federalism.
One hopes that during the conference, it won't be just a time for high voltage grandstanding, high voltage politicking, but that we will also look not just at political issues, but ask ourselves some basic questions. How did we arrive at a state where our education collapsed?
But for those in support of a conference, be it sovereign or by any other name, there are those who are strongly opposed